In our current times, there is a big feeling of disconnection. Most people experience reality just from their own point of view, making it very difficult to understand and empathize with others and nature. We live in a narcissistic era where we constantly try to define ourselves with all kinds of labels. Every new definition or trait we see or create makes us differ from others, and each time we do so, we become more lonely and disconnected from one another. We put more focus on what is unique in us than what we have in common with others, trying to fill that feeling of loneliness with illusions such as likes, comments, or friends in social media, or becoming dependent on other people, constantly planning events so we never get in situations where we get alone with ourselves. Having an identity can give you a sense of belonging, which is important for your well-being and confidence. You might make friends with others who have similar interests to you, and it will make you both more optimistic and also more open to people from different backgrounds. But our identity should come from the things we are capable of as human beings, and what we have to offer to the real world. When our identity depends on the image of ourselves that others and we have in our minds, we live in an imaginary world that is very fragile and can be easily manipulated. One other feeling that is common in modern society is the feeling of disconnection with nature and the universe. We no longer have value for what is maintaining our world, what is giving us life, so we are slowly losing the responsibility of the impact we have on it. For the most part of us, it's hard to get daily to a place surrounded by just nature, and with the light pollution, we get barely to see the stars and the space from the universe we are part of. It might feel like we have always lived in this world of steel, concrete, and gasoline, but the truth is that for 99.9% of humanity's existence, we mostly live among nature. It was not even 250 years ago that we saw the start of the Industrial Revolution, and it was only 13 years ago when for the first time in human history, it was determined that more of us lived in urban settings than rural. We evolved and determined our future in the wild, and it will be millennia before this essential thread of our character is altered. The rules of nature are different from modern society, so when we allow ourselves to spend enough time in nature without any kind of devices, mirrors, or modern distractions, we become more conscious of the present moment and let go from all these made-up worries that cause anxiety and stress. There are several studies that show the tremendous benefits of being in nature. Research indicates that forest bathing provides a defense against the pangs of anxiety, stress, depression, and other inflictions on one's mind. In recognition of this potential to help, Japan has included it in its National Health Service as an intervention for mental health. Everyone that has seen a sky full of stars can relate to that feeling of oneness and peace. It's a view that humbles us and reminds us where we come from. The same feeling we can get by sitting close to a fire, watching its flames. Fire is deeply connected to our survival instinct. During hundreds of thousands of years, it protected us from wildlife and cold. It gave us light and we could cook food, so it was tastier and more secure to eat. No wonder why we get that feeling of being home whenever we lay by the fire looking up to the stars out in the wild. When we go for longer periods of time in nature without modern distractions, we are also giving space to introspection and meditative states, where we can learn more about ourselves. Different obligations we have been imposing to us have no longer meaning out in the wild, so we stop thinking about what we should do or what others want us to do or become. We get more conscious of what we really like doing and what is our true self, becoming sometimes able to see the roots of our pain and suffering. Being in the wild with other people teaches us fellowship and teamwork, and we learn to think from a group perspective instead of just our own. We are dependent on each other and also from nature, so we learn to empathize with them, becoming conscious of the impact our acts have around us and taking responsibility for them. Being in nature also puts us in uncomfortable situations, real situations. Many stay in their comfort zone, isolated from any kind of discomfort, not conscious that they are just harming themselves. It's like being a spoiled child who is going to hit a hard wall when he finally experiences that life can be raw and hard. Behind those hard moments that nature puts us in is where we grow and get strong as human beings, and becoming comfortable in those situations is what is going to allow us to spend even more time in nature. Going back to our comfortable lives will feel like a gift, and we will give the true value to all these luxuries we have in modern society. We don't need to go back in time and live as we did before. Of course we must live as we do nowadays and enjoy the amazing lifestyle our ancestors have built for us. But one thing is for sure. We should never completely forget where we come from, and we all can try to spend more time in nature, not just to learn more about it, but also about ourselves. As Leonardo da Vinci said, nature is the source of all true knowledge.